Who is ready to talk about video syndication? Let me hear from you in the comment section below right now. Give me a big yeah if you're ready, because our guest today almost needs no introduction. But I'm gonna introduce her anyway. Bonnie is a film and TV producer with over 700 television segments under her belt. She's the writer, director, and producer of the documentary, influencer on the social media generation and the advertising industry. She's worked for 2 decades, touring some of the world's top personal development gurus, including Tony Robbins, Harvey Mackay, and others. She founded Binge Networks, which is a multi-channel media network for creators and brands with syndication on 50 top OTT television networks. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Bonnie Bruderer. Bonnie, great to have you on the show.
Hey, I have camera envy. You have this 2 angles. I'm loving it.
Yeah,
it's so great to be.
It's something new. Yeah, Bonnie, I actually had a chance to interview Bonnie on the BeLive.tv show, BeLive Weekly, last week. She shared some phenomenal content, which I hope to bring to you folks today. Bonnie, give us the 30-second background. I kind of talked a little bit about where you came from. Talk a little bit about where you are now and what you do.
Yes, so we are a multi-channel network, which basically means we work with any content creator to have a channel within our network. And we have a syndication technology that broadcasts out the videos that you upload to 50 different media platforms. So that's where we are today. As you said, we can work directly with the BeLive show, a Facebook Live show, a podcast, and we syndicate it out into the smart TV world, because that's really where there are millions and millions of viewers that are looking for content like yours.
Fantastic. Now, if you've got questions for Bonnie, ask them in the YouTube or the Facebook comments. We'd be happy to answer them. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, be sure to come check out the website and see if your question was asked. Now, Bonnie, when I think of syndication, I start getting flashbacks of Gilligan's Island. I start thinking about, as a kid, waking up in the summertime and watching Andy Griffith's show, and it's like, this is syndicated for a national TV audience, and I typically associate syndication with mainstream television. When you use the word syndication, what are we talking about?
We're talking about amplifying. We're talking about taking what you did, whether it's a YouTube video or a Facebook Live video, and putting it 50 different places. And so that's really today's syndication, is taking one thing and repurposing it in multiple ways so that you can get a larger audience.
All right, so let's talk about that. Repurposing it multiple different ways. Walk us through the process of how a YouTube creator or a Facebook Live creator would go about repurposing or syndicating their content.
Yeah, it's super simple. So in the case of Facebook Live, we have a technology that you basically would just link once from your Facebook channel to your Binge channel. And then every time you do a video or a Facebook Live, it gets pushed out to all 50 networks. So we make it super easy. We take whatever content you've already created. You don't have to create new content for our platform, but we're just basically going to get it in front of these new eyeballs that are looking for it.
Okay, so when you syndicate this, with using an if then that or a Zapier type technology, right? You make it very, very easy to do so. Where is the show going? Is it on demand where a viewer can watch it all the time, or is it going to go into like the 2 a.m. spot right behind episodes of never seen episodes of the Brady Bunch? Where is the show going?
Yeah, so that's a great question. It is all on demand. That's really what is hot today. Sites like Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, that's where people want to watch their content. So your channel will be there. It's accessible 24/7. And when somebody wants to watch a video, they just simply go on, press play, and it's there waiting for them.
That's fantastic. Why would somebody want to... Well, before I even ask that, okay, because I think we see a lot of reasons why syndication could be a good thing. When we go, I was one of the first people to ever buy Roku, right? People thought I was a nutball. Like, let's watch Roku, and they're like, this guy's crazy. It's called the television, right? Roku, we recently switched over to Apple TV. Personally, I like the Roku better, but we're Mac people, so it makes more sense for us to follow the lead there. where would we go when we'd find, would our show have a little pop-up on Roku, or how does that work? Walk us through that process.
Great question. So you simply go to your Roku, you go to where the search bar, you would type in Binge Networks, and then basically your channel comes up with all of our content channels. So somebody would simply click on your channel, and then you can have, some of our channel partners have hundreds and hundreds of videos there, and people would just watch them just like they would on YouTube or Facebook or anywhere else. But again, it's 50 different networks. Roku's just one of them. Apple's one of them. And so you have all of these new audiences.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. And what, are we paying, like, talk about the fees involved with that. Like, what would be the fee involved? Is there like a low one-time monthly fee or something like that? How does the creator, the video creator, actually, pay for that?
Yeah, so we keep it very reasonable. We have our packages by the year, and our lowest price package starts at $14.65 for the year, and then it goes all the way up to $10,000, just depending what you're looking for.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. We can turn
Baller
your content
over there. Baller. That's where you got that bomb ass background. She's like, I'm rolling in 10 G's, baby. 10 G's all day long,
These are all gold plated. We just covered them up for your show.
Yeah, I know. It's good. The humility involved, I really appreciate it. For those of you guys that can't see, Bonnie has a fantastic background. It's like a bookshelf background, but every book has got like this white cover. It's like this infinite, got some cool shadows. Very, very cool. Hey, we're getting some requests on YouTube. If we could turn the volume up a little bit. Okay, guys, we're working on that audio. Appreciate your feedback. And if you have questions for Bonnie about syndication and how you can syndicate your show, ask us in the comment section below. So you've got a varying price range. Sounds very affordable to me. Like if you're looking to get, we were just talking about this yesterday. If we were to syndicate our show for, $1,500 over the course of the year, and we were to get even one view per dollar, it makes a lot of sense. It would actually cost less than ad spend to grow the show. So that kind of begs the next question. Why would somebody want to syndicate? What's the value there? If you listen to all the social media gurus, they'll tell you that all the good stuff's happening on Facebook and YouTube and Periscope, right? So is there value in being in these other locations?
Absolutely. So the value is really new audiences. So I don't disagree. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Periscope, they're all hot. But what people don't realize yet, or some people don't realize yet, are there's these other networks that are also super hot, that have tens of millions and sometimes hundreds of million subscribers. And that's where we come in, is we place you in these new audiences. And then the goal is for you to monetize in whatever way you are. So whether it is through paid classes, through coaching, however you want to do it, we're just the amplifier that's going to put you in front of the new audience.
Okay, so it's really about new audience discovery and going into new places and being seen by people that haven't seen you before. Let me ask you, in our live audience watching us on Facebook or on YouTube, are you guys looking to engage your existing audience or discover new audience? Which one is more of a priority for you right now in your evolution as a creator? Let us know in the comment section. We would love to hear from you guys. So when we talk about discovering new audiences, and we're speaking today with Bonnie Bruderer of Binge Networks, we're talking about getting your Facebook Live or your YouTube video into new places on the web. Now, you had mentioned before like a coaching program. Can you walk us through sort of a success story or maybe an example of a coach or a business person who has used a service like this to actually get more clients?
Absolutely. So as I said, our packages range. And with our higher end packages, we have what's called pay-per-view. So essentially you can set up your content just like Netflix, where you can sell a program or a piece of content for a certain dollar amount.
Wow.
Now, you can set up multiple courses. You can set up a $10,000 course, whatever you want. We just basically provide you the technology. And so we have people that will do like certification courses or training videos or a 12-module training program. And again, you determine the price. We're just bringing you a new audience, and then we give you a 70% commission on any of those packages that are sold. So with Binge, again, we're accessing these people that maybe aren't on your Facebook or aren't on your YouTube, and we're just putting you in front of these new audiences so that you can monetize however you need to.
Okay, so I really like that a lot. How many of you guys in the audience right now want to sell your videos, want to monetize your videos through the process of like selling training courses? Because you're actually talking about a pay-per-view. So rather than charging like $97 for a course, right, it was really common, right? $97 for a course or $497 for a course, and you give them like 15 videos. What you're saying is in your program, they would pay for the individual video, or would they pay like a gateway fee to get access to all the videos? How does that work on your network?
So the great news, you can set up any way you want. So if you wanted to say, okay, it's $9.99 a month to get access to all of my videos, you can do that. If you want to say it's $9.99 for this video, you can do that.
Okay.
If you want to list a course, you can do that. We're just basically creating the Netflix ability for you, and then you determine pricing and how you want to structure everything.
Paul Peck is saying this sounds pretty cool, and I think I would agree, especially for those of you that have training that you can monetize. If you've got a service, if you're a business coach, if you're a meditation coach, you know, you could create videos that are free, YouTube and Facebook and whatnot, and then bring them over to Binge Networks, for example, to pay where you'll break 70% of the, you know, you'll share 70% of the revenue with the network, which I think is a pretty good split there. You know, everyone seems to be making money. Can you do both, Bonnie? Can you like have free stuff on your network and then also paid stuff on your network? How does that work?
Absolutely. And that's what most people do. You hit the nail on the head. You want to use some of your content as a teaser, and then you can inspire people to purchase the more expensive program. So we can even run trailers where maybe you have a video that's 3 or 4 minutes, and then it says, hey, to get this full course, click here. And then it takes you behind the paywall. Okay,
I love that. Now, can we bring up, Melissa, can we bring Binge Networks up on the screen and maybe show people what that looks like? What is the website called, Bonnie, where we would go and we would check this out? I want to put it on the screen so our viewers can see it.
Sure, it's bingenetworks.tv.
Great, so we're going to bring...
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
If you click on the Big Talk, which is the third show over, I can show you the pay-per-view.
All right, so we'll go there right now. You guys can see it's a pretty high quality website. And where would we go from here? We would go to...
It's called Big Talk. It's the beautiful woman in the black and white photo.
Got it. That one right there. So let's click on that. Oh, look at, you've got Be Live. You got Be Live TV. Okay, so Big Talk Productions. Here's one.
Yeah. So if you see, some of her videos have a price on them.
Okay.
So if you click on one of those, it will show you exactly what happened. Oh, not that one. A price.
Well, that one's a free one, I think.
Yeah, perfect.
Now it looks like they're playing an ad right here, and this is an ad for Binge Networks.
It is, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you go back, you'll see some of her content actually has a price tag on it, and then it will require the user to enter their credit card details and their information.
Okay, so this, what I'm looking at is actually it's like a podcast that she's got up here. Okay, so that's really interesting. So you can actually be uploading voice only onto the platform.
Yes, so we have a partner technology that will actually take your podcast feed, any whether it's iTunes or Stitcher or Libsyn, and it will convert it into this video file with a WAV file and publish it to your Binge channel.
Oh my goodness, that is phenomenal. Can we go back to one of the paid channels too and see what that looks like? I've got my producer, Melissa, back here. She's looking at me and she's like, dude, one thing at a time, Mr. Video. One thing at a time. What I really like about what I'm seeing on Binge Networks right now, though, is that you're not only able to upload your YouTube videos and your Facebook Live videos, but you can also upload your podcasts as well. Now, you had mentioned sort of the ease of that process. Is this an RSS feed situation? Is this like you're uploading to Zapier situation? Like, walk us through that process. So I upload a YouTube video. How does it get to Binge Networks?
Sure. So with any podcast or any Facebook Live, we use a technology called Repurpose.io. And what it does is it allows you to set up a rule that you do just one time, and it will publish any Facebook content or any podcast content directly to your Binge channel. So you basically can spend 5 minutes, set everything up, and then go on with your life. And if you're doing a podcast or like you're on video every single minute, every time you do a video, it just publishes to your channel. And then you can go home at the end of a long day, put up your feet, turn on Apple TV, and there you are.
Oh, Bonnie, going home sounds so amazing. I wonder how old my kids are. My kids are now. So we're looking at so a paid channel here, and it's $9.99 to rent for 720 hours. Which, do you know off the top of your head how long that is?
It's 1 year. So we're changing that so it's a little bit more user friendly. But this is a new feature that just launched this last week. Okay, phenomenal. So once you sign in, is your card on file, or do you have to enter in a card every time you make a purchase? Nope. I love all your questions. They're such good questions. Nope. We use. I didn't even feed these to him. We use Stripe, so everything's on file. So once you purchase once, you can just go back. You can watch away. I mean, we want you to binge. That's what we're here for. That's what we're all about. So go crazy, watch as many videos, sign up for courses, whatever you like.
Oh my goodness. Now, we've got some questions coming in from the audience, and if you folks have questions about syndication and about broadcasting your videos out through a service like this, ask us in the comment section right now. Our first question is coming in from Jason Shea, who this is a great question. He says, how much data can we see? For example, the view counts, etc. How do we optimize the content to fit those channels? That's a great question. Bonnie Bruderer, your thoughts?
Yeah, really great question. So for pay-per-view, we actually give you reporting that shows you who watched it, when they watched it, and how much they watched it. So you will have all of that data and metrics. For your Binge channel specifically, so this is one of 50 platforms that we're broadcasting on, we can do a Google Analytics link to give you the data on how many people are watching. We get data back from just 5 or 6 of our networks right now, and so those we're happy to pass along to you, but we're really working on our development side to make sure that within the next year we'll have data from all 50. So as we improve, it's getting better and better.
Okay, so are we not getting data because of where it's being viewed? Somebody's viewing this in the Tropic of Cancer, and there's like an antenna that they're getting it from some government signal, and we just can't track that, while others are watching on tabletop and TV devices, and we can track that. Is that kind of the situation there?
Yeah, so the big companies, I call the big 6, like Apple, Roku, Amazon, they're very great at providing data.
Yeah.
There's other distribution companies we work with, like Kachong Media out of China, which is massive, but we don't get the data that we need from them for a variety of reasons. So we definitely are improving. The OTT and smart TV industry is definitely behind the times as far as analytics versus what we're used to on social media, but it is improving and improving quickly.
Yeah, I think that's really exciting. Now, as business owners, a lot of us, or at least business-minded people, and I've always said for YouTube creators, I think one of their biggest struggles is actually thinking like a business, and managing your brand online is knowing where those views are coming from and being able to track some of that data. So those things are a good thing. Is there an optimization process, Jason was asking about, that can get more views on the network, or do we simply upload to the network using I keep saying if this then that, but like a Zapier type technology? What is that called? Anybody? Does anyone know? There's got to be
well, we use Repurpose as a bridge technology. Is that what?
Yes, repurpose.io, and I keep hearing them over and over again. By the way, if you guys know anybody from repurpose.io, they need to come on this show and talk about what they do, because okay, well, we need to do an intro because we keep hearing about them and we need to know more about them. So you're using this where repurpose.io is a bridge network, getting it automatically up there so that it's easy for the creator. But then what, right? Do we need to drive traffic to Binge to get people watching? Like, how do we optimize the video for maximum views on your network?
Great question. So a couple of things. One of our biggest assets on the BingeNetworks.tv is that each of our 250 channel partners have a unique audience. So that in itself is driving traffic. So you want to let people know your site is there, that you have a show. We call that combined community reach. We're doing our part. So we have one person on our team that's just responsible for social media. Every time new shows are uploaded to the platform, she slices them up in 10-second segments and is out on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn getting new viewers. And then we do the typical SEO, paid Instagram, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So we're working on that. And then we also work directly with our distributors to try to get as much visibility as possible.
Okay.
So, for example, go ahead.
No, please continue.
If you go to the Apple Store, the App Store in iOS and type in Binge Networks, we come up right next to Oprah. So we do a lot of work to try to make sure that things like that happen and that we can get as much visibility as possible.
Okay, so that's about getting more downloads of Binge Networks onto Roku and onto Apple TV and the like. Then it comes down to, like, when I log in, right, I'm going to see a variety of shows that are like available to me. Is that all based on views and popularity?
Actually, that's a great question. So on our network, it depends on the type of genres and the type of package somebody purchases. So you can purchase a package where you get featured on our homepage, and that we also have campaigns that are driving directly to your channel. So that's one thing that you can do to boost it.
Love it.
But then also, of course, the more popular shows we're going to feature there, because we want to make sure that simultaneously our viewers are very happy with what they find on the network.
Right. So that brings up a great question that CB Rand is asking from his prison cell in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. He's asking, could this be used for entertainment purposes as well, or is this more of a business platform? Great question for our guest today, Bonnie Bruderer of Binge Networks. What are your thoughts, Bonnie?
For both. So we definitely, because I come from the personal development world, I have a piece of my heart that always belongs to like informational training and e-learning. So we definitely will be strong in that platform. But you'll also start to see a shift. We want to compete. We want to be the Netflix for the everyday awesome. That's how I always phrase it. So we want people to be able to have their movies, their films, their series on there. So you'll definitely find a variety of both.
Okay, so what performs well, right? Because I'm looking at this show that we just showed. Can we show the website again, Melissa, if we get a chance? Look at how I'm just like barking orders at her, folks. Welcome to being the boss. It's amazing. And grab me. I thought I asked for a coffee. Someone, which is actually true, but it's okay. I see my wife like moving. She's, oh my God, she's mad again. He's mad again. I'm half kidding, folks. I'm only 30% kidding. Okay, so I'm looking at this and I see great quality photography. I see these great thumbnails, and then I click on it and it's essentially a sound wave, coming out. What performs well on Binge Networks? What performs well? Is it the podcast stuff doing well? Is it the entertainment, right? What I call sort of like I actually don't want to say what I call it because it's kind of rude, but just like kind of like this goofing around, like clown being kicked in the type stuff. Is that right? We talked about that, right? We talked about that. Is it that kind of stuff that's doing well, or is it the self-help guru stuff? What's performing well on Binge Networks? What gives us our greatest competitive edge?
Yeah, so interestingly, podcasts are performing incredibly well because it's a different market. It's not iTunes. It's not necessarily the podcast listener, so they think they found this really new and exciting thing. Shows like Justice Woman, which is on our channel, you can find it on the homepage. It's sort of like a superhero-y type of show that performs very well. And then all of our food shows rock it. People love to turn on, the Binge. They can, for 2 minutes, learn how to make some French souffle and then go on and impress their family and friends. So those are the shows that do really, really well. And then education. People want to know about health. We just brought on actually yesterday a stroke awareness channel. And then we have the Mental Health News Radio Network with 18 different shows that we're bringing on. Yeah,
great.
Yeah. I mean, anything wrong, you want to definitely check out that channel. And and learn everything that you can in that world.
Can we tag Dr. Ben Lynch in this, guys? Somebody tag Dr. Ben Lynch. Ben Lynch has a phenomenal wellness show that we watch quite frequently. I'm a cancer survivor, so those things are definitely on our radar all the time. And, you know, this is a guy who I watch and think this guy needs more reach. This guy needs a bunch more reach. It would be great. Let's tag Ben Lynch and let him know. Dr. Sten Ekberg is a chiropractor doing some great work. Did a whole video on gum chewing the other day, which I think would be fantastic on the network. Now, Paul Democritou is asking a question. By the way, Paul, I was thinking about you as we were having this conversation. He says, is this scalable? Is this something that can work at scale, which, I think is a question on a lot of people's minds?
Scalable from Binge perspective, or how exactly?
Yeah, I think uploading your work to Binge, right? Is that something that can really take hold on a massive scale?
Yes. Yeah, so we have people that upload literally hundreds and hundreds of videos, and then those are found on the 50 different media platforms around the world. Right now, I mean, our goal is to have 500 channels by the end of this year, and right now we're right around 250. So, and then the next year to have 5,000. So we're definitely scaling quickly, and as we are, it's just bringing more and more awareness into these niches and networks that people are now becoming very familiar with.
Yeah, and I've always said niches earn riches and help keep you away from the. You know what? That's probably not actually a great bumper sticker to say on the air. Now, I'm glad you guys caught me on that one. So, so we're talking with Bonnie Bruderer of Binge Networks, and we're talking about syndicating your YouTube videos, which is the process of uploading your videos to Binge Networks, and then Binge Networks sends it to over 50 OTT media networks. Now, what the heck is OTT?
It's a term that means over the top. So it simply means accessing video content or television content without paying your cable bill. So when you're watching Hulu, you're watching Netflix, you're watching Amazon Prime, those are OTT networks.
Okay. All right, great. So got another great question coming in here from Jason Shea, who actually runs a channel for autism awareness and has products around autism awareness and stimulation. He's asking, is there any translation service? Is there any closed caption or anything similar to that available through Binge Networks?
You would actually do that prior to uploading the video. So we're just the syndication service, placing it on all 50 networks, but we do have recommendations if you want it if you wanted text files, or if you wanted it translated into different languages, we can definitely match you up with those files.
Yeah, fantastic. Really vibrant conversation happening here on YouTube. Specifically, Happy Trails Hiking and Jeff Eatley are talking. Jeff Eatley is saying, that he'd like to create a photography training channel where some of his videos are free and some of his videos are more paid. Bonnie, is Binge a great network to make that happen?
Absolutely. Photography is perfect because it's so visual. So what we would recommend in that case is, like you said, have a number of videos that are free. And then what we can do is create an amazing trailer that drives people to the paid content and to the paid courses. So yes, absolutely. It's the perfect platform.
Do you have any data to speak of in terms of, what it takes, right? So I'm on Binge and I go and I see Jeffrey Eatley's photography course. It looks cool, but I don't know Jeff. I don't know Binge too well. Like, have you noticed a thing in terms of how long it takes for a new client, if you will, like a new channel to start generating? Have you noticed anything between how many clicks land on the paid video versus how many actual sales are made, any conversion rate there? What can you share with us there, Bonnie Bruderer?
Yeah, well, since it is new, we've only had pay-per-view for 1 week. I can't unveil massive data.
Yeah.
We did have a sale on our first pay-per-view channel in the first day. So there's definitely a need for it. There's definitely a desire.
Yeah.
Also, with all of our pay-per-view channels, we're pushing those very heavily. So we're doing press campaigns, we're doing paid Instagram ads, we're doing a lot on our end too to push people to that because it's a new product and service. We want to let people know that, hey, we're here, we're offering this now.
Yeah.
So it is really a great time to get that started.
Yeah, and you know what? I will say this. Bonnie and I met like a week and change ago. And after doing that interview, I went to Binge Networks and checked it out. I've been on the social media. You guys should all follow Binge, by the way, on Instagram. Really great content on Instagram.
Thank you.
They are marketing. And I'm seeing an active retargeting campaign, happening to where it's like, oh, I visited the website, and now I'm seeing this. I'm actually seeing the same girl that was on the homepage of the website. And so they're driving traffic. And I think we could all agree that YouTube's not necessarily the same way. Facebook's not necessarily the same way. So you do have an opportunity here with Binge they're going to be pushing people to the platform for you. Couple questions coming in on YouTube. Happy Trails Hiking. Maybe not so much a question as saying, we are working on healthy recipes that go with our health challenge. Would Binge Networks be a good fit for us? What do you think, Bonnie Bruderer?
It would. So if you follow our social media, you'll see today we just made the announcement about our partnership with Foodie TV. So we just acquired
great.
Yes. So 50 top food shows that are very high production value are migrating over to the platform literally as we speak. And so you'll see a lot of publicity about that as a very popular genre on Binge.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you want to utilize your channel where you have some free content, some great recipes, kind of hook people in, get them a little appetizer, and then offer your courses there behind the paywall. It's the perfect place.
That sounds right, right along the way with what you want to do. And look at these great channels that are here. It looks. We've got Ladies Go Live, and we're good friends with those folks over there, Jen and the whole team over at Ladies Go Live. So we love seeing them. We are definitely seeing a lot of the coaching, heart and soul. We're seeing Be Live, which, as we all know, is the greatest company ever to live ever.
Yes.
A lot of really fantastic stuff. I'm seeing great fancy artwork. Does your company help with the thumbnails and the artwork, or is that something that the creator would provide?
We can do both. So a lot of times people want to provide their graphics because it will match their branding, but we also have a graphic design team that is more than happy to help out with that for you.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. So we've got some questions coming in on pricing, and I know we talked about this, but let's go through it again so our audience can hear. Core Health Darien, Dr. Brian Mackay is asking, what is the cost of Binge?
Sure. So the basic package to have a channel in the network with distribution on 50 outlets and an unlimited video content is $1,465 a year. So $1,465 a year, just about $120 a month.
Yeah.
And then from there, we have packages that are close to $3,000. We have a $5,000 package, and then the $10,000 is the whole pay-per-view and the kit and caboodle.
Yeah.
And the difference really is the amount of press and publicity that we're pushing to each individual channel. So the $5,000 package has SEO, it has press campaigns, releases, paid Instagram ads, and that's really the difference. But they all have the 50 distribution points.
So I can see that as being a really great plan for a business that's got revenue, that's sort of got some stuff in the works. I mean, $5,000 for a company that's 50 million is not, they're not, you might actually have to charge more just to get them to listen. You know what I mean? It's not to drop in the bucket. Now, for most of us listening live right now, we're solopreneurs, we're entrepreneurs. The 1465, I have to say, look, my immediate response was like, yeah, it's cool. We'll put it on the list of things to talk about. I brought it up to in my team meeting, and I said, okay, do we want to do Binge? The cost is $1,465, and the whole team was just kind of like, that's nothing. Like, why? It was more like, if you want to do it, then do it. And here's the thinking on that. Now, I'm not a Binge salesperson. I don't want to come off that way, but I do want to sort of put it in the right, because I think as creators, a lot of times we hear, oh my gosh, it's more than $7. Like, I can't do it. And that might be the case for some of you guys out there. And if so, you may want to consider joining my course, Launch Your Live, How to Create Authority and Close Sales with Live Video. But for the rest of you, think about this. Think about what you're spending time-wise trying to promote your videos on the same old places, right? You're like, oh, let me send another tweet out. Let me post my thumbnail again in another Facebook group, right? For $120 a month, you might be better off, experimenting with Binge Networks and actually seeing if you can bring in new audience, because that's the whole thing, right? Is getting into new audience, global audience, people that you're not reaching because they just don't know about you. Now, Bonnie, you had shared a story, and Jason, you got a great question too. I'm going to come right back to that. You had mentioned a story about I want to say it was a doctor, maybe a chiropractor, who found a client in South Africa. Walk us through that story.
Yeah, so we have a show called Top Docs, and the chiropractor, who's an integrative medical specialist and chiropractor, he interviews different health experts, and he did a show on autoimmune disorder, and somebody in South Africa saw the show on one of our networks, flew from South Africa to Kansas City, Missouri to work with him.
Wow.
And I think he charges $10,000 as a retainer to work with him, so it's not cheap. But there you go. I mean, there's your 1465 times 5 just in one client from one person that saw it on one network. So
incredible.
We definitely have success stories.
Yeah. Incredible. And what Binge did is they took that 10,000 and they actually said, okay, well, this is for the next 8 years. And they took their cut first, right? That's how you guys handled it?
Well, first I bought a couple more books, and then
I love it when they get my jokes, folks. Like, somebody, we get too serious on the show, and I'm like, I need to make somebody laugh. I need to make somebody spit up something in order to feel like I'm back on the ball. Jason Shea's asking a great question. And Jason, Colin Rand is saying, CB Rand, sorry. Colin doesn't want me to share his name because he's hiding from people. He says, I'm not sure if that was a South African or a tired Texas drawl. Well, little did you know that the island of Texas was founded by settlers from South Africa. So learn your history, Colin. Next question is Jason Shea is saying, are there any networks that you were working with in Japan? So great question, Jason, about networks in Japan.
I did see that question fly through a minute ago, and I was trying to jog my memory. I believe they are, and what I can do is if you comment, I will get back to you once I research the exact networks. But we have a very large distributor in China, and I want to see if it does the entire continent, or I just need to double check, but I'm pretty sure, and I'll get back to you today with a direct answer.
Yeah, I think that's a great question, because you did mention in the last show that you did have Chinese distribution.
Yes. Yeah,
right?
We have Kachong Media, they have 100 million subscribers, and they basically manufacture most of the TV sets in China. So if you imagine how large that reach is, it's pretty incredible. But I'm pretty sure we have Japanese distribution as well. I just need to go look it up.
That's great. Now, David Maradiaga is asking us, what's the website? So give us the website one more time, Bonnie, so that we can all check it out.
Sure. BingeNetworks.tv is the website for the network, and you can see apply for a channel in the top right, or you can just go to bingechannels.com, and that will give you everything you need to know about all the packages and all the information about Binge.
Great. So Paul Democritou, who is doing some phenomenal work in sales training, also in cryptocurrency. Guys, follow Paul. I'm giving you a big shout out, Paul, because I tell you that the other day, dude, is I like you. You're just like good. You're like one of us. You know what I mean? And that's why I really dig your work, Paul. He's asking, how do I apply for a channel? I'm interested. We just kind of covered that. You go to bingenetworks.tv, click apply for a channel. Is the application for a channel kind of like stringent, or is it more just like you want to know who you're going to be putting on the channel? Are you ever saying no to certain channels?
We have. We don't to many, but we definitely want to make sure that their content is valuable. We just had an instance where there was sort of a religious type show, and it wasn't very nice, to be honest. And so we passed on that show. But really, we want to make sure that the value is there for both people, right? We don't want to just take someone's money because they have a credit card. We want to make sure that we can help them, and that the viewer is going to find their content valuable.
So, Paul, you're in. You're in, Paul.
Oh my gosh, his content, we get people begging for that. We're actually doing a big, huge event here in Miami as a potential sponsor, and I think they're saying they have like 5,000 people coming, but it's all cryptocurrency, blockchain, that sort of thing.
Wow, so yeah, really, really big stuff. And as a matter of fact, I'm not going to name names here, but I was speaking to a podcast syndicator just yesterday. She told me the exact same thing. The exact same thing. That's all about crypto right now. So for those of you crypto nuts or the crypto skeptics that hadn't gone anywhere, and you might want to check out My Crypto Currently on YouTube. That's My Crypto channel that we're on hiatus right now. Paul is asking, can we pay for distribution? That's a great question. So once we're on Binge, is there like, can I pay more to get boosted, to get featured on the homepage or anything like that?
Absolutely. Yes. And if we don't have the program, we will invent it for you, Paul. Whatever you want, we will make happen. Just send us the Bitcoin. But no, seriously, there's different packages, there's different levels, there's Instagram campaigns, and we can always plus that. And then we also do direct sponsorships where if you came to us and said, hey, I have this budget, I want to run a commercial for my show, meaning you, we can run that on particular channels. We can run it on the entire run of site. We really have a lot of flexibility as far as how to target people within the network.
Yeah, fantastic. Last question. Andrew Haley of Wirecast is asking, why are all your books white?
Well, if you want to know the truth, it's because this is a piece of wallpaper that I got at Home Depot.
Isn't that amazing? That is amazing wallpaper. In fact, we're releasing 2 videos on the channel this week about brick wall backgrounds and different kind of backgrounds, and wallpaper is phenomenal. It looks so great. And of course, you're in full color, so you really pop. You really stand out of it. We actually had to hide a whole bunch of our white here. We have so much white in this room, which looks great when we're doing the talk show, but when we do the podcast, it can be a little bit, I think girly. It's just too clean. And you get a guy like me, I'm kind of grungy. I'm kind of like rough around the edges, and it looks like this bleach white sort of clean bathroom, and it doesn't fit me. It doesn't fit who I am, right?
If you come here live, we have other sets here, so we could do a more like corporate look for you. This is our boy set.
Oh my gosh.
So we could definitely.
Do you guys film stuff in there? Are you guys doing some of your own channels for Binge and populating with your own internal stuff? Yeah.
So the 700 shows that we did create, they're all on Binge on various channels. We created the, the Branded Show, the Savor Show, Make It, The Goss. All of those are our Binge original shows. So those are all found on different channels in the network. And then tonight we're actually filming some success stories for our movie Influencer, which comes out in spring of 2019. You can go to influencerfilms.com.
I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it. That's going to be very exciting. Bonnie Bruderer, Binge Networks.tv. Thanks for coming on the show today. I know that I really have learned so much about the syndication process. I didn't even know it existed. How do we stay in touch with you? What's the best way to follow you and your work?
So you can find all of my contact details on the website, bingenetworks.tv. That's my email that goes there. And then on social media, I'm on social all day long when I'm not on a show like this. So I will actually respond to you, and you can even call me. I mean, carrier pigeon, whatever. I'm pretty accessible. Call me.
You can do it. Bonnie Bruderer says you can call her. We'll post her number in the description box later. Bonnie, thanks for coming on the show. So glad you were able to make it. If you hang on for just a quick second so we can talk off the air. And I want to thank you watching us live on Facebook or YouTube. This is the Business of Video podcast, and we're live every single Wednesday at 9 a.m. Hey, if you're still watching, give a big high five or a rest well to our good friend Nick Nimmin, who's been traveling for like 28 hours straight. He's at home right now. We just finished a stream, and he's resting up. I told him to take the day off, go relax, and we, of course, miss him when he's not here. But put in the comment section below, hey, Nick, hope you feel better. If you're watching us on iTunes and you enjoyed the show or listen to us on iTunes, don't forget to leave a review, share the episode with your friends, and we will see you next week on the Business of Video podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Business of Video podcast. If you like the show, give us a review on iTunes or share this episode on social media now. Join us next time on Facebook Live. Just visit businessofvideopodcast.com and subscribe to the newsletter updates. This podcast is brought to you by Tuber Tools and BizTubeAcademy.com.